If you didn't know, now you know.
This is Tondo Sabers.
What's up, YouTube? I got another video to do today. Finished up another Kestis saber for a client, and I'm very eager to show it off. This is a saber that I'm kind of proud of, but at the same time, I like the way that it looks. I think the client's taste kind of aligned a lot with mine, so if I had one personally, I'd probably do it like this. So I'm really excited to get into it. So why don't I switch the camera view so we can take a little bit closer look at everything that's going on here. All right, now that we're here at the desk, I can kind of show off everything that'll come with the saber. So to the client, this is your hilt. Obviously, it's got all of its electronics inside. Here's your battery charger, because the battery is removable. There's not a port that you'd plug into like some other sabers. You will take the battery out and put it in this charger. So there's that. Keep Power, same brand as the battery. It says the brand on this little case right here. All I did was put this heat shrink vinyl wrap, or vinyl? No. I think it's just a heat shrink wrap, whatever it is. It's decorative, but one thing to remember is the button top is positive, flat side is negative. So spring side is your negative, which would be this flat side. So I'm gonna leave that there because we will need that in a second. This is your Allen wrench. There's 2 set screws here and here for your blade. So that's what that is for. All right. Now for the fun part, let's get into what we did with the saber. So the client had a very, I'd say, similar taste to my own. So when we were going over what we would do with his hilt and what he wanted, I was really excited because I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is this is right up my alley here. So we went with overall a medium weathering. So I suggested some chemical weathering with some aluminum black. I did repaint this because I did do some weathering, as you can see, especially after these, right? So I used a triangular and a round file. I started with the triangular one to make the little valley there, and then the round one to, round it out, as the name would suggest. But I got this inspiration from Denis Lukianov's Ogdo Killer. I really liked the grip on that one and how he did that ripple where the grip is damaged. So I suggested it. He said sure, so we included that here. More aluminum black weathering down here on the pommel. I did open up the bottom of the hilt because before it was just like a little slit, and it did sound very muffled compared to other 28mm sabers that I have. So what I suggested was to open up a larger hole, and I thought that it would help, and it did. So it does sound a lot better than before. The customer, or the client rather, also supplied some files for these etches that he wanted done. So, I didn't make this. He actually sent these over, and one thing I really appreciated was that, I'm not super proficient in, what is it called? The software, it's from Adobe. But what you would use to kind of prepare a vector image for an etch, and at first it was like the colors were reversed, the black and white. You really need a black background with everything that you want etched in white, and so it didn't come like that at first, and he was more than happy to change that up for me and sent it over. So I was really grateful for that. I really appreciate working with clients like that they'll supply something, but they also help me make it work, and sent what I needed to get this done. So that was a huge help, so a huge thank you for that. And they came out really cool. I haven't asked him what they mean yet. I've been meaning to, but nonetheless, they're really cool. At first, we did want them on this shroud here, but I don't have a clean version, but there was like a almost like an anodized finish. Not anodized, but it was chrome plated. That's what I'm trying to get at. And so I actually had to sand that off in order to even be able to weather this a little bit. But even then, I wasn't really confident in my ability to get the metal to be completely clean. So I suggested not doing that, and we went with doing the etches in this section, which did not have the same finish as the shrouds. So I think it was a good move because these came out clean. And it's a cool spot for them, I think. You know, the etch, or the picture, or the letters rather, were vertical and they kind of fit in these spaces really well. So good little change of plans there. And then I like to paint this little gold ring. It doesn't come like that when you get this saber originally. This actually is a, forgot to mention, it's like a, I'm pretty sure it's a TXQ model. But, you know, it's not the Ogdo Killer, it's not the Jimmy Saber Junk, it's not a Corbath one. So it doesn't come with that color where, or as to where the game version does have it. So I wanted to add it. And I love the little bit of contrast that adds. So I thought that came out really cool. We did some heat staining up top here. And I'm really happy with how these came out. I think it's a little more realistic than what I've done in the past. A little more subtle. So really, really love that. Love me a heat stain. So there's a blade plug for this saber that has been picked out, but I don't have it here with me. But so that's coming. The saber did not come with one. But yeah, that's pretty much the outside of the saber. Some, you know, medium weathering here in the grip too. I did spray paint it black and then covered it with a matte clear coat. So that's what's on there. Feels really good in the hand. It doesn't feel sticky at all. It's nice and smooth. So really happy with how that came out too. Kind of moving on to the electronics portion of the saber. Your buttons are underneath this rectangular greebly here. Bottom one is power, top one is aux. And then to get to your chassis, you can thread off the pommel, but you only need to do the grip, really. You're not going to get to anything with the pommel. So this is a nice snug fit. As you can see, it's not even falling off just by gravity. So you can pull that right off. And here's the chassis that is visible to you. The rest of the chassis up here is just where the battery and the buttons sit. So as you can see, there's a tactile button there. And you got access to your board right in there. Nice and tucked in there. So if you ever take that out and you're putting it back in, you can just keep testing for button, you know, placement, and then when you got it right where you need it, tighten this screw here down, and that actually locks your chassis in. So yeah, so down here you can see your OLED screen, 28mm speaker. I fully enclosed it with some gasket sealer, some accent lighting through a strip down in here. Battery, spring side is your negative up here, and your crystal chamber with a removable cover plate. And it's just pressure fit on there, so you just kind of get your nail behind it and can peel it right off. So I'll show that off in a second here. Like I said, flat side to the spring, which is the negative. Twisted with the letter showing.
Nothing we couldn't handle.
So one thing to keep in mind when you're putting your battery in, I didn't do it there because I was being really gentle with it, but I recommend grabbing both the hilt and the chassis a little bit with your hand and making sure you give that support, because obviously...
And this is BD1.
Thanks for that. Obviously, this chassis aren't the most durable thing. You don't want to be putting pressure like that. So just give it some support, you know, be gentle with it. But yeah, there's that accent lighting going off. Here's that crystal glowing. I'll leave that off for now so that you can see it. You got gesture controls. Let me turn this light off here. There we go. So you can see it animating a little differently. This this OLED screen, I've got some of the animations are different from font to font. So you can have like a little kyber crystal one. This is a battery level indicator, so this shows you got full charge. And then this light happens to also be a battery indicator on most of the Kestis fonts. So when the saber is off, this color indicates your battery level. So I thought that was kind of cool. It's a nice practical usage of that accent lighting. But yeah, let's go on and throw on the pommel here. That just slips right on. You can thread that in. auxiliary button. You can hold power down for a second, release for force sounds. Some of the fonts have quotes as well. And I believe it's hold aux and hit the saber for a saber lock. And then I think it's, let's see, hold power, tap aux. So the top one and then the bottom, and you can twist to change the color. And then you can hit power to lock it in, or you can actually tap aux and it reverts it back to the starting color. So it just stayed right back on where we started. I'll demo that more with the blade. It's a little easier to see the color and everything. So let me switch this camera view around and show you that. So I'm going to try something a little bit different with my videos. I'll try to maybe do the blade portion outside over here so that I think blade styles show up a little bit better on with the TV screen behind it. I've seen some YouTubers do that, so I'm going to give that a shot, and then I have more room to swing around and play around with it, so I thought this would be a little bit advantageous. So the retention screws, like I mentioned, are up top here. There's 2 of them. You can insert your blade. It's a little bit of a snug fit, so just kind of twist as you place it in the hilt.
Blue crossguard.
You can give it a quick test, and once you know that it's connected, you can tighten the 2 screws with the provided Allen key or Allen wrench. They don't need to be torqued down super tight, so just make them a little bit snug and it'll work well. Got twist on, smooth swing, flash on flash, saber lock, hold aux and tap the saber. Let's see. Force sounds. Got twist off. You also have swing on. So as you can see, I wasn't touching the buttons and I was able to turn it on. To switch fonts, you just tap the top button.
Diamond.
And if you hold it upside down, you can actually go back to the previous font.
Blue crossguard.
Just like that. So I've got all of the Survivor 2 bundle from Kyberphonic on here, so it's got all its colors, single and crossguard variants. So I'm actually going to go backwards in the list. I'm not going to go through all of those.
Blue. Asuka.
You had me put on a couple, non-Cal Kestis fonts, so I'll demo those. This one's Ahsoka from the Clone Wars Season 7.
Lady Bo-Katan and I have located the Renegade Sith Lord Maul.
And then another cool feature is while the blade is on, you can hold the aux button for a second and let go, and you'll hear a blaster sound. And you'll be able to swing and trigger blaster blocks without touching the buttons. So usually you'd have to go like this, but you can hold for a second and release. And then to end that, or to exit that, you can just tap it again. And then you also have me put Obi-Wan Episode 3 on
Obi-Wan.
here.
It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
Some quotes are on there from his duel with Anakin. Chop my leg off. Some fonts have music on them as well, so you can hold the power button for a second and release. This is a track player selection, so you've got multiple songs on most of the fonts. So you can cycle through them by twisting. When you found one that you want, you can press power. And that locks it in. Hold for a second, release to stop it. Let's go to the next font.
Jedi Knight Dargangera.
Oh, sounds crisp. Oops.
Obi-Wan.
Let's go.
Jet.
My name is Dagan Gera.
Sound kind of lame.
Master Seer Junda.
I really like the ignition on this one for some reason. Ooh, fist. Love it. Actually, hold on.
My name is Dagan. Master Seer Junda.
Some quotes.
I've been waiting. How is my relationship with the Force?
The truth is that I'm still struggling. It's its own test.
Red Cross Guard. Party Saber. Yellow Cross Guard.
Actually, I like orange.
Yellow. White Cross Guard. White. Purple Cross Guard. Purple. Orange Cross Guard.
So I'm going to take it back over to the desk and finish throughout the rest of the video.
All right, and finally, last thing, when you're taking your battery out, you just unthread the grip section here, pull it straight off, and then like I said earlier, give the chassis some support, come from this top end, push down, and pull it out with, tip of your nail. You can also use something else that's thin and flat, but just make sure that it's not metal. Just pick something plastic or wood even, non-conductive. And then you can slap this back on. And there you have it. There's your Kestis saber. This was a huge pleasure of a project to do, so thank you to the client for commissioning and trusting me with your saber. I know it did take quite some time, but I really appreciate your patience and just the opportunity to make this saber for you. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope the appearance is to your liking and all of the fonts and just the function of it. It's a really cool saber. So yeah, so I'll be getting this out to you. I'll probably ship it out Monday. So usually takes a couple days after that. So next week you'll most likely be getting your saber. So super excited to get these into your hands, man. So thank you again. May the Force be with you.